Hey guys, how's it going? It is Brandon and Eve back again with another Dolphin Quest podcast. So this time around we have a ton of stuff to talk about, some, fun convention stuff, some future plans, and everything that goes along with that. But, I guess I'll let Eve take it away.
Yep, so we went to AnimeNext this past weekend. Hopefully the podcast gets uploaded relatively soon after we record this.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, but AnimeNext, for those who don't know, is an anime convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey. 3-day anime convention, with the day 0 being on Thursday, where you go to just pick up your pass. And then sometimes they have events. So last year they had a free screening of the Sailor Moon movie, and then this year they did like a free karaoke thing at one of the hotels. I don't remember which one.
Which is still cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
they throw out something for free for the people that are there early.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, there's not really any, like, new anime movies, like, currently, like, on the horizon. I mean, I'm sure there's something. They'd
have to get, like, the rights for it. Because they could have shown, like, maybe the Brawly movie or the My Hero movie, but they have to have the rights for it. They only had the rights for the Sailor Moon thing because I think Funimation, like, kind of pass that along or something like that. I don't know the full story.
Yeah, they're not going to just, illegally play Pacific Rim conventions, learned the
you can only do that if you
also
have a ball pit.
Yeah, exactly. Which,
okay.
There was no ball pit cosplayer this year. Not that I know of. There usually is, and we usually see them. But
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I think it's kind of
maybe premise is running thin at this point.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. So back to AnimeNext.
You want to just start with Thursday, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Day by day. That sounds good.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So Thursday, like we said, it's kind of like the day 0, you just go to pick up your pass. We waited, 2 hours in line?
So, usually the pre-registration, you do that in line, and then you could show up on Thursday night and grab your badge. Usually it's not too bad, apparently, but I think there's a bit of a shift, because when people start thinking the same thing, they're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to show up the night before, I'm going to get my badge, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a quick thing. Well, that's not really the case. So we walk into this room that's a fairly large room. I'd say it's probably maybe 2 football fields put together.
Yeah, hall.
It's a hall, thank you.
Yeah.
And with the
bigger than a room.
Yeah. So with the partition, it's about the size of 2 football fields put together, and there's just a massive line. We had to hook around, I think, 6 or 7 times, and each section of the line probably had about 80 to 100 people, I'd say.
Yeah.
So needless to say, there was probably well over 1,000 people in line, more than likely. And I'm being generous by, I'm being conservative by saying that. So, we got in line just at the right time, because the cool thing is that registration or pre-reg closes at 9:00, but they don't turn people away until 9:00, and once they start turning people away, that's when no one could get in line, but they do get through the line. So
so if you're already in before 9:00, you're gonna get your badge. You're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole time in line, we're just saying oh, I wonder if they're turning anyone away, and apparently a good amount of people got turned away, and people were pretty upset about it.
Yeah, but I feel like those same people also have hotels, so maybe they were really busy that day, but at least they have a place to go to right afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. And also another thing, apparently, if you were going to pick up your badge on Friday, it was very fast, 20 minutes fast. So
because everyone, like Brandon said, had the same idea. Oh, let's just get it out of the way on Thursday so we don't have to wait on Friday.
Yeah, and I will say, though, it was nice, because on Friday we were able to kind of just go at our own pace, because our panel schedule was really nice this time around, because they were later in the day. We didn't have to rush for anything. We didn't have to wake up at 6 in the morning, anything like that. So that was definitely really nice. So, I guess now that I yeah, that pretty much covers Thursday, right? Like,
Yeah.
we didn't do too
There's
much.
not really much to do on Thursday.
Yeah, we were going to hang around the hall, and, like, I'm pretty sure at other conventions and, like, AnimeNext in the past, usually people would just, like, kind of hang out in the halls
There
and,
there was a little bit of people. I think it was just because it was pretty late by the time we were actually out of there. Nobody really wanted to stick around.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone needed their beauty sleep for the next day, obviously. But, yeah, okay, so that brings us to Friday, and I guess we could open that up to our panel for the day. So
Well, first for Friday,
okay.
I gotta say what I was dressed as, because I was dressed up as Josuke.
And I was dressed up at... Oh, that's Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, unless
Yes.
you guys know about a different Josuke.
There's
that
probably
we don't
other
know
guys.
I'm sure.
And then Brandon was partially dressed up as Joseph, but Brandon doesn't like getting his picture taken, but he doesn't mind being recorded for panels, so...
Well, I mean, that's actually the funny thing with that is, like, you know, I just kind of wanted to make sure that Eve got a lot of good pictures, which I definitely did, but I don't know what it is. It's just, like, I'm weird with posing and stuff, and, like, Eve doesn't actually know about this because I didn't tell her about it till now, but she ran off to, in the dealer's room to go look for something, and a couple kids actually came up to me and wanted my picture, so I did a quick pose for them and everything. Believe it or not, it was actually two of the kids that were at our panel later
okay.
that day.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was our, you know, that was
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
Brandon, you and I have dressed up together before at, like, Too Many Games, like, 2 years ago. And a lot of people liked your outfit, so people like when you cosplay old Joseph.
So it's kind of weird. The whole thing when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type of stuff is that people like quoting Joseph a lot, but not a lot of people like cosplaying him. And I think the reason why...
Brandon, that's totally false. There was like 5 Josephs on Friday and Saturday. All right.
This is how I measure, like...
What?
That. Have you ever seen a girl cosplaying old Joseph?
Once at Colossal Con.
Okay, so
And
once.
she actually drew on the beard because it was kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes down to that type of stuff, it's just like, you know, all... I understand that my cosplay is a fairly casual version of it and everything, but I mean, like, how do you get much more casual than what he's already wearing in the show?
Yeah, I know. That's why
like,
it's a
yeah,
good
I was
outfit
wearing
for you.
shorts, but big deal.
But okay, but see, you're judging it by if a girl dresses up as a JoJo character. By default, girls dress up as guy JoJo characters because there's only like 3 women throughout the whole series.
Yeah, okay, that is true.
I mean, okay, so you have like, all right, you have Lisa, you got Hot Pants, Mariah,
you have Arena, you have, let me see, what's,
wait, okay.
Jotaro's mother,
No, that is Arena. No, Susie,
Susie Q.
There's Susie Q, that's his grandma.
Jolene.
Okay, well, there's a good amount of women, especially in part 6.
The one girl from the part 3 that, you know, kind of just flies away and has a crush on Jotaro for some reason.
Yeah.
That part's weird.
Yeah. Okay, well, my point being, the reason why you see a lot of girls dressing up as guy characters is because they're the main characters anyway. And then with the Part 5 anime wrapping up, that's what the most people were dressed as. Like, there was like 7 Brunos, 4 Mistas, which is funny because Mista hates the number 4 because he finds it unlucky. So then that's why they were all like pointing their guns at each other. They're like, someone has to be taken out.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure in Japan it's either 3 or 4 that's seen
It's
as
4.
It is, so they always do 3
Japan
plus
and,
1.
Yeah, it's Japan and China. It's like an Asian thing.
Is it like a
It has
Buddhist
to do with numbers.
thing? Maybe.
I'm not sure about Buddhist, but it just has to do with like
13 being unlucky
in America.
In America and some other
13
places.
13 is actually lucky in China. Well, at least in Taiwan. That's what my
Well, I've always
one
considered
Chinese
it
teacher
lucky
told
because
me.
I was born on the 13th of
Yeah.
January.
All right, a little bit of a tangent, but my point being is you can't judge, oh, well, not enough girls dressed as this character. Well, I'm sorry that, for one, that's a male character and not every girl wants to dress up as a male character. 2, that's an older male character and you know how girls are with, like, fake beards and stuff like that. They only
it's hard to do.
Yeah,
so
they
whether you draw it on
Yeah.
or whether you actually have fake facial hair, it is a bit difficult.
Yeah,
to do.
I mean,
can admit to that.
girl cosplayers, it's not that we haven't seen them draw on fake
Yeah.
beards and stuff like that. But when it comes to Joseph, that's just an easier character to do, and I feel like some cosplay girls, they don't want to do something that easy.
I guess that's true too, but I guess, we're also like, we should also look at the fact that like, and anyone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's more like female cosplayers than male cosplayers.
In general, or
I would say in general, actually.
Yeah, probably. Especially around here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and as I said, I might just be like, missing the mark on that one. But,
No, I think that's pretty close, especially when it comes to certain like anime and fandoms and stuff like that. For JoJo, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny though is the fan base is probably like pretty split down the middle, but not every single guy that watches JoJo wants to cosplay that stuff.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I would also say that it's like, probably like, when I see people being vocal about anime, it's mostly, like girls that are like really vocal about it.
We get excited about stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that. And this might just be a confirmation bias just from what I, have experienced, because I didn't know what JoJo was until Eve told me about it. So that's, one little bit of evidence I usually think about with it. But as I said, I mean, like, show me evidence. I have no problem admitting that I might not be 100% right about that.
Yeah, I think maybe next year's AnimeNext, we should try and do like a, not like a poll, but like some sort of like, some sort of research thing, and we could figure out how many, how many cosplayers and what the demographics of it is. Because, so another thing that I noticed is if you look at the photo shoots, when they do the official meetups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the demographics of like, well, what characters are popular from that series, and what's the ratio of like guys, girls, and, all that stuff for those characters. Because, so, another popular one would obviously be like My Hero.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's going to be, like, 20 Dekus, and then only, like, 3 of, like,
well, see, the adult characters, I always notice that it's, like, it's usually guys doing the adult characters, and it's usually, like, bigger, taller dudes that are doing it. And honestly, like, truth be told, if you look at it, it might just be, like, so the way the characters are drawn and stuff, because like, for instance, Endeavor from My Hero is a massive human being, just like All Might is.
Yeah.
So naturally, a guy that's like 6 feet tall would be more akin to that character, just because it's like, okay, well, this character kind of matches my height and my build, so I could, do this.
Well, yeah, so that's a good example, because like All Might, is basically one of the main characters, but you'll have, bigger guys, bigger girls, smaller girls, like, height, weight, etc., etc. Everybody cosplays All Might because he's basically like the Superman of that series. So since he's the main character, people of all different kind of demographics.
Well, one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Our boy Deku is.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm talking about, like, if you compared him to, like, American comics. So obviously, anybody could cosplay any character. Literally, anybody could do whatever they want. But you don't really see that many girls cosplaying Endeavor, because he's kind of, like, a more, like, brash male character, and like not everybody likes him. So I think that kind of has an impact on like who people cosplay.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I would also say that like with Endeavor and stuff like that, when he was first like kind of introduced, like I was borderline like, dude, I feel like this guy's kind of like secretly a villain. Like, and I, as far as I know, he's not actually, but that's just kind of the impression I got, especially because of, Todoroki's scar and everything.
Yeah, I feel like they probably set that up on purpose so that you kind of feel more for Todoroki, because, in the beginning, he's too like, oh, don't get in my way,
Yeah, don't even get in my way, and I don't use fire.
Yeah, even though, they're all heroes. It's same thing with Bakugo. He's like, I'll freaking kill you. And it's like, dude, you're supposed to be a hero. Heroes
Lord
don't say that.
Explosion murder.
Yeah. Okay, so... Getting back on topic, so besides, tons of cosplay stuff, obviously, we were there for our panels, and we had one panel on Friday night, and that was our your first trip to Japan panel.
Yeah, and that was like, if I could say, like, I think that was the most successful panel we've ever done. Like, I was very surprised. Well, when I say successful, I mean the most, like, well-attended.
Well, what about our video game one?
Our Japan panel had way more people. That was the first one. So, like, that's when we walked up and saw that massive line.
Yeah, that's true. I think they're kind of around the same, because the video game one is in a different room. So it had the chairs.
It was a bigger room, but, we had a few open seats, whereas with the other one, we were pretty
only
much
had, like,
a packed
one or
house.
two.
There were people standing in the back for that one.
Yeah, so for the Japan panel, we were able to actually record that one, so we'll set that up as a separate video and upload that later. And I'm going to include the PowerPoint as well.
Yeah, unfortunately with that, the camera died during both of the panels that we tried to record, so...
That's on Saturday,
the
so we were able to get through
collecting one got 17 minutes in, and then, like, I think we only lost, like, 5 minutes of the Japan panel, or did we get all of that with the GoPro?
I got everything with the Japan panel.
Oh, okay, there we go. So.
Yeah, because remember, I was controlling it with my phone.
Yeah.
The issue was that we didn't have any backup SD cards.
Yeah.
So then I couldn't use that, and then we tried using your phone, and your phone didn't really work.
Well, it's not that. It's that the SD card just didn't work with it either.
No, your phone shut off, remember?
No, but we still tried to format it, and it said it wouldn't work anyway. Remember? Because it was...
That was for the regular camera.
Yeah, you're right.
You're kind of mixing it. There was a lot going on this weekend, so you're kind of mixing it up. Regardless of that, we're still going to upload the presentations for our 2 other panels, which we'll get to momentarily. And we might even do, like, a little bit of a voiceover to add in extra content. Because when it comes to presentations, you don't want to have, like, blocks and blocks of text. Because no one wants to sit there and watch you read paragraphs of text on a screen. It's,
Well, that's PowerPoint 101,
yeah,
really.
So PowerPoints need to be nice, concise information. And then the person that's presenting should have enough knowledge of their topic to just, explain what pieces are missing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because, like, the best advice I've ever been given on a PowerPoint before is to use it like you would use note cards.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I think that's a good idea because, like, the whole problem with note cards is people tend to sit there and stare at them when they're not confident in what they're presenting. So, I mean, the Japan panel was a very, very natural thing for us because it was about an experience that we had.
And we've also, not only have we already presented this, we also just talk a lot about this when people ask us about the trip.
Yeah, exactly.
We're very, like, receptive with that stuff. Because we really like talking about it. We get asked about it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So really it was a great experience, and I think a lot of people got some really good information from it.
Yeah.
Especially when we talked about, like how cheap you could get a flight out there, because I think we probably even mentioned it on the channel before, but
yeah.
A lot of people just kind of assume that flights are going to be expensive because you got to figure from the East Coast to the West Coast in the United States, you're looking at about $1,000.
No, it'd probably be around like 600.
Okay, but it's expensive.
It's still expensive, yes.
So our trip to Japan cost us,
$265
a person for round trip.
Yeah.
And like that, you can't beat that. It almost like defies logic, the fact that we were...
Yeah, because it's funny, because whenever we read that line out, basically, everyone just goes, no way. Like, but it's kind of funny.
See, I would definitely like to talk about that no way moment real quick, because... as soon as you get that no way moment, that's when you know you have everyone's attention. Because at that point, they're thinking to themselves, holy crap, I paid over that just for my hotel room. I'm probably going to pay twice that much for the rest of the weekend here just at this con.
That's a good point.
And that's the main thing. Like, you really, like, that would be, like, the hook section in something. Like, almost like a clickbait title that's accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Doctors hate this one simple rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Your airline will hate you for this, which is, at that point, I'm pretty sure the airline does hate when people do that.
They don't care, because it has nothing to do... It's we got that through our miles through Capital One, but they don't know that. We got the same ticket that anyone else does.
Well, that's Capital One footing the rest of the bill, right?
They convert our miles, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and like another nice thing is so during the panel I saw a bunch of people like they would be taking pictures of the presentation because I have like links on there and stuff and like interesting information. And then, like towards the end, we always do our Q&As. We got a lot of questions, a lot of good answers and stuff like that. And then finally at the end of the presentation, we had, like a lot of people coming up just, like basically saying thank you for providing this information. Basically showing them that, yes, it's possible. It doesn't just have to be, in your dreams or in a fantasy. You can do this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like really the biggest thing because when it comes to doing travel like that, a lot of people will say to you stuff like, oh, travel while you're young because you'll never be able to do it when you're an adult, which is like certain things will make that hard. Like having kids will make travel very difficult, but at the same time, you could still do it while you're young because, it's funny. I'm going to throw up a picture of this infographic, but it's like, when you're young, you have all the time, but, and all the energy, but none of the money.
Yes.
And then when you're, like a little bit older, you have, a little bit of like everything kind of balances out a little bit. Yeah. And then when you're old, it's like you have the money and the time maybe, but
not the energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when it comes down to stuff like that, it's just kind of figuring out what you could do and getting out of your own way because a lot of people have like hang-ups. Like I know plenty of people that are well off enough to do that type of stuff, but they're afraid of flying. And that's why we added one section in there, which is, about the possibility of hitching a ride on a, cargo ship, which you are allowed to do. You could do that and it's super cheap. It'll take you probably a good 2 to 3 weeks to get over there, but at the same time, you're paying it was like what, like $100, something like that, and the rooms aren't half bad either.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I know it's cheap.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do? A flying metal coffin or a seafaring metal coffin?
Yeah, I mean, either way, honestly, like, truth be told, I mean, if something were to go wrong, I'd rather take my chances on the plane than at sea.
Yeah, but if the plane is over the sea.
Yeah, this is true too, but impact is still impact because water has the same consistency as concrete when you're falling from that high.
Well, yeah, but any pilot will tell you that they would rather make a landing on water than on land.
Yeah, I just don't feel like dealing with sharks and narwhals and stuff like that.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, and then Friday we also went to the rave.
Yeah, we did the rave 2 nights, actually, which is funny because there have been plenty of times where we said we were going to do raves, and that goes all the way back to 2014.
Yeah.
So this has been coming for years, basically. I think
5 years.
Like, we've stepped into, like, 2 different raves. The first one was... I don't know which convention it was.
I know we definitely went to the Colossal Con East rave, and then that was literally nothing because there was only 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we were in Virginia that one time, that
the
college,
NecoCon
yeah,
one.
No, that college was having a rave, and we stepped in there. Well, we didn't even step in. We just like saw that there were 2 people in there, and then all of a sudden we just hear the DJ say, "Thank you for both of you for coming out to the rave." So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but that was a college con, and it was at nighttime, and that was clearly a con directed at, like, kids. So I feel like everyone had left by then.
Yeah, more than likely. So that didn't work out.
That one doesn't count. That's not, like, a full con.
Yeah, but the quote by the DJ is still worth, mentioning
stuck with you
for the story.
It stuck with you for many years.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, when it comes to, the rave and stuff, so... Friday night, we weren't there for too long for either night, but we were just kind of in there and like taking everything in, and I gotta say it's an experience because I never really did clubs or anything like that, like growing up. Like I always said I wanted to go to, Nocturne in Philly at, I think it's shampoo. It was
shampoo.
shampoo. I don't think it's called that anymore, though.
I think it then changed to Vortex.
Yeah,
and then
that's
that
right.
also is not there anymore.
Yeah, it's something else, but we actually are going to...
the anniversary reunion show.
Which is...
the day before 4th of July.
Yeah, that's right. So
also tickets are completely sold out for that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun show.
There was a limit on that. I think they could only sell 200 because it's like, it is in a building.
They also want people to be able to walk up, too. So I'm sure they
No tickets at the door. I told you, it's all sold out.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's pretty serious.
There might have been more than 200, but they were definitely trying to limit it because they don't want to get it shut down, basically.
That is true, because fire codes are a very important
Yeah, they
thing.
also want it so that you're not, like, packed in like a sardine. You'll actually have room to dance.
Yep, 100%.
Alright, so, yeah. Yeah, the rave, like, it wasn't too bad. I just wish, instead of, like, generic... It's not even, like, dubstep. It would probably just be more, like, EDM...
kind of like Euro trash beat a little bit. Almost.
Yeah, like a little bit. It's like modern Euro kind of like Ibiza kind of stuff. I want to hear anime music remixed with techno music, and I also want to hear 90s stuff.
Well,
I did not hear any of that stuff.
That's where Dolphin Quest Media is going to come in, because we do have the music mixing software. So
yeah, and
maybe
I know good sounding mixes. I've been listening to this stuff literally my entire life.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe one of these days you guys will get to see Dolphin Quest do a set at an anime convention. We could be like the Katya Nagi twins from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, like I said though, it wasn't bad. It's just that I literally just want to hear remixed anime music, or just, some techno music with, like, anime quotes or something in it.
Yeah, I mean, and also, like, maybe doing some of our own visuals, because, like, don't get me wrong, AnimeNext had a lot of cool stuff. Like, they had one that was, like, the looping gif of Deku running in his school uniform, but it was all, like, glitchy and had, like, the, distortion and stuff, which was really cool, but, then you realize that, holy crap, this has been playing over on repeat for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, like, I gotta say, like, me being the sweet summer child I am, I was surprised by some of the outfits in there, because I know it's a rave and everything, but I didn't expect as many butts as I saw.
Oh my god, that was a conservative rave.
Yeah,
compared to what it could have been.
I know. I'm actually wondering how Nocturne's gonna be.
Yeah, because, like, there's no limits on that. That's not a family event like AnimeNext is considered.
Yeah, exactly. Because, well, that's actually the funny thing. So we could tell this story. The raves there, despite the subject matter of kind of like how people dress and what a rave generally is, there was actually, we have some friends that were going, and they were like in a circle dancing, and it was like mostly the girls in the group and stuff, and the guys were like off to the side doing their thing. And then there was this girl that came in and like started kind of dancing, and then like she went up to one of our friends and held up a necklace, and it said "I'm 15" on it, and I guess
no, it said "I'm 14."
Are you sure it was 14? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this necklace said I'm 14, and our friend was like, oh my god, what are you doing here? And then the girl says, it's okay, my mom's right over there, and they look over, and the mom's just waving at them. So that was it's funny. I mean, that's like kind of wholesome, because you got to give that mom props for like...
She's at least there paying attention to her kid.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, kind of nice, because it's like, it's a little weird that you're bringing your kid to a rave, but at the same time, like, you literally made it so that no one could say, oh, I didn't know she was 14 or something like that. Which
Good point.
Yeah, which is like, if you look at it that way, that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure she's a very cool and also responsible mom, because, well, I mean, if she was just a cool mom, she wouldn't have been there. Yeah. So.
No, if she was a cool mom, she would be dancing, but wouldn't even be dancing near her kid.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how many people that mom just like was like, hey, you see that? That's my daughter over there.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah. 100%. But
Yeah.
that was definitely funny. So the culture shock of the rave was interesting.
Yeah, Brandon is a sweet little summer child. He doesn't know about all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't, but it's also because, like, I lack rhythm, so I would really like to, like, learn how to, like, do some shuffling and stuff, and maybe some jump style. Because at one point a couple years ago, I was trying to learn, but I was also, like, heavier than I am now by, like, 40 pounds, and, like, didn't have anyone... Well, I could have learned with Eve, but we weren't living together, so it made it really hard to get, like, anything like that coordinated.
Yeah, well, you know, we could start practicing for next year.
I agree.
And then maybe, you know, we'll be DJing and you could do your, you know, shuffling on stage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into Saturday then, because that was kind of the big day. That's, you know,
it's
normally
always the big day.
That's normally the big day for, I would say, 99% of cons. Some cons, though, like on Sunday, people get a little bit more into it then, because then it's cheaper. So
you could, like, bring the family and stuff.
Yeah, they'll make
like,
it the family day.
Yeah, because I think it's also, like, cheaper if you're, like, a parent and, like,
yeah, they give you, like, a discount if your kid's a certain age or whatever. Okay, so Saturday, that's when we had our 2 panels. I was dressed up as Doom Guy at first, and then my helmet was just, like, not cooperating, so I was like, this is just annoying. So then I just switched. What did I change into?
You changed into.
Well, we changed into our nice outfit for our second panel. Then what did I do after that? Just kind of like my rave-ish outfit.
Yeah, which Eve's rave outfit is like cute, like post-punk goth girl kind of. Like it's not like sort of. It's like
I'm wearing a Naruto. What
vest.
is it? Genin vest.
Yeah. No. Chunin. Yeah.
Chunin vest, my antisocial social club mask, Arizona hat, and then a tank top that I have.
Yeah, exactly. But Eve looked adorable, so...
Aw, thanks, Brandon.
There was that.
Yeah. All right, so before we get ahead of ourselves, our first panel on Saturday was probably the one we were, like, the most nervous about, like, just because of the subject matter.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, like, Friday... Basically, Friday into Saturday and a lot of Saturday, like, I just found myself, like, walking around the con and just, like, constantly thinking about this panel, just thinking, like, how should I phrase things? What do we do if, like,
people get
if someone
or
takes it wrong? Because, like, I was fully prepared that, like, if someone got, like, so offended by it, to stand up in front of them and basically say, listen, I am going to change your mind on this. If it doesn't change your mind, I will let you slap me in front of everyone. I was going to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, not if it was some, like, big, like, 280-pound guy, but, like, I don't know. If it was someone smaller, I would have.
Okay, Brandon. All right, so that panel was our enlightened otaku panel, which is basically, like, life coaching kind of stuff. And we didn't get too many people in there. I would say there was probably at least like 20, 25, and then a couple
30
people
at the high end.
A couple people did leave like halfway through it. Now a few people left but then came back. So maybe they just had to like go to the bathroom or something like that.
Yeah, and a couple people that left early actually subscribed to our YouTube channel as well on their way out the door.
Yeah, so that was pretty nice. But, so, like, I will put the PowerPoint for this one so you guys can have a little bit more of an understanding of what it was about. But we had never really seen anything like this there before, where someone is actually holding up a mirror to con goers and saying, yes, you're here at this con, but should you be here, in the sense of, are you avoiding responsibilities or are you avoiding bills and things like that, and instead spending your money on something that is technically frivolous, which would be going to an anime convention. Brandon and I both love going to cons, no matter, the genre, but we only do that stuff when we know we're good on our bills and all that. It helps to be able to, like, put money aside and, pay for things ahead of time. And then we also factor in, like, if we're going to be spending anything in the dealer's room, artist alley, autographs, yada yada. So that's a lot of stuff what we covered in the panel. And then towards the end, we basically had an open discussion, and we had some like really great advice given from other people in the panel. And we even had a person who was there to try and actively, curtail his spending and save more and stuff like that, and was legitimately looking for advice. And that's the exact kind of person we were looking to help. So it was, really cool seeing that.
Yeah, exactly. And there was just like, so when you think of a panel like this, you'd think it'd be like a bunch of younger people that showed up to it, but surprisingly, like, there was this one dude that we actually saw online, and I'd say he was probably in like his like mid 50s or so. But this guy loves cons so much. He likes AnimeNext and New York Comic Con. Those are like his two big cons, and he was actually telling us, and this is funny because he said that he uses the Holiday Savers Club and the Vacation Savers Club, and whenever he gets his paycheck, it automatically gets taken out and put into that Savers Club, and essentially, like, that's his money for cons. And then before he goes, he knows exactly what he wants. He says his big thing is that he gets a shirt with the con on it. That's like he said he will never go to a con without getting that. Mm-hmm. And besides that, he does some research on it. But then there was like a really, really great conversation with for instance, like bringing kind of like it's a daily planner book, and then just like writing down the things you spend. Because my big thing at cons is I will get a lot of small things on my debit card, and then like usually like one bigger thing on top of it, and it's just those small things that add up. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'll get a $2 drink here, $5 snack, $10 at McDonald's, $50 for this, and then it's like, wow, I thought I only spent like 100 when really it was 150.
Yeah.
And that's just like the type of stuff that I would actually like to add into the panel.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. There's definitely some stuff that I would like to go into like a little bit more detail on that panel, and then maybe see if we can have it be even, I don't know if people would want to stick around for 2 hours, but have that buffer. Basically,
I couldn't do 2 hours.
No, I mean the buffer of allowing more conversations, because so a lot of the people that were talking more came in after we said, hey, we kind of wanted to hold questions and stuff till the end, just so that we can get through everything. So I think that would be why I would want to have some extra time. But I think an hour and a half was probably the best option for that. But yeah, we definitely learned some new techniques from the people in our panel, and it seemed like a lot of people learned a lot of stuff from us too.
Yeah, exactly. Also, one more technique I wanted to talk about is and I'm just going to gloss over this, the 3-day rule, which is if there's something you want to buy, wait 3 days to buy it. And I found that this actually works out for me, because at cons, I'm like, oh, I want to buy this. Let me look at it online. I end up finding it cheaper online, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to order this when I get home. And then I usually just forget to order it, and then life goes on.
Yep.
So really what that just means is that I didn't need it, and I probably didn't want it that much either, but it was there. So, yeah, I mean, definitely I'd suggest anyone trying that next time there's just some, kind of like fringe purchase you want to make. Just wait 3 days, and then if you're still obsessed with it, then make the decision.
Yeah, what was funny, though, is people were like in the background, they're like, but that's when the con's over.
Yep.
So I would say, do your dealer's room, run through on Friday, think about it on Saturday, and then go back on Sunday. If it's still there, that's when you decide, do I want it or not? Because there was a
crazy diamond
there was
record.
a nice crazy diamond statue
from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, by the way.
TM.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I saw on Friday. And then what was funny is during our panel, our life coach panel, one of the girls in there said that she saw that, and I think she said that she had seen it before, and she was thinking about it the whole time, and then that's one of the only big purchases she made. So it was funny that it's now I can't get it because she got it, but that's okay, because I was still thinking it over. But so then I mentioned last year I had bought another JoJo statue, but I had waited till Sunday.
The world statue.
Yeah,
right?
And she knew exactly which one that I was talking about, because she was also thinking about it.
Yeah, so they basically bought each other's statues, which is hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think the panel went pretty well. The turnout we didn't really know, were we only going to get like a couple of people, or were we going to get like so many people that it would be overwhelming. I think it was a good mix. I think we'll definitely try and bring it back again next year and like revamp it a little bit.
Yeah, because at first, like, I thought no one would show up because it was only like 15 minutes before and there was like no one in line.
Yeah, there was like 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might have just been charging their phones at those outlets that were right there in front of the door.
Yeah. Okay, so then our next panel, which was our final panel for the weekend, was Intro to Retro and Import Video Game Collecting. And I have put together basically like a display table of some of our more interesting or like rare or obscure games and consoles. And a lot of people were coming up just to take pictures of it. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a panel that just like in general went really well. People loved hearing about it. They liked, we had a little bit of a discussion with whether you should include like physical releases of limited physical releases of digital games as like a completion type of thing, and most people actually said no, which I was surprised by. So yeah, and then we just like talked about dealing with collectors groups and like
scammers,
and like the hype beasts in the groups and everything.
Yeah, I think that one also went really well. We had some great discussions. A couple of things like we might have missed in there. I would want to put in a little bit more detail into the PowerPoint. So since, Brandon's phone cut out on that one, we'll just only have the PowerPoint. But I'll put in some more details for you guys to be able to look over and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we also did the rave that night. And, once again, we were there for probably like an hour or so. We're old people now, so we
yeah, exactly. Well,
we don't want to stay out too late.
Also, another thing with that is that we ate McDonald's like right before that rave, so just
because we wanted something like cheap and fast.
Yeah, exactly. So we went, and I started feeling tired, so I ended up taking like a few minutes to myself and going outside and just like kind of hanging out there. And I was conversing with some people outside, but then I went back in. Eve came up to me and I was like, nah, go dance and stuff. I can't move right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty much the end of that day. And, yeah, I guess, so we did our pickups on Sunday, right? So,
yeah.
So I guess
that's when we do the shopping.
So should we talk about, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep our order. We have it written down this time.
Yeah, so then on Sunday, that's like the casual day. What was I wearing on Sunday? Oh, I was wearing my PlayStation shirt and a Yokai Watch little cloak thing that's meant for children, but
yeah,
I wear it as like a hoodie kind of thing. But yeah, so that's when we do our our actual purchases. So me and Brandon got some new Magic cards from the new set, Modern Horizons, right?
Yeah. So
didn't really get anything too good, but
yeah, but at the same time, we did get something way more valuable from those people, which was information. But we'll talk about that in a minute because we want to get through this. Sunday is like such a hard day to talk about because it's like, yeah, we bought some stuff. And then,
well, we also got autographs that day.
Yeah, we met, so, I'm trying to remember their names.
So we got like Bato.
From Ghost in the Shell.
The Tachikoma lady, whose voice just sounds like that, which is kind of insane to see her talk.
Yeah, it was. She was super nice, though. Me and her got into a conversation about, not liking to see, how fish markets will, fillet everything and stuff like that. We also talked a little bit about how octopi are awesome animals and how they would probably be the dominant species on Earth if there were no humans. So that was a pretty cool conversation. And then we met Wait, he also does Bato, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Joseph
so he also
Joestar
does
is
old
Bato.
Joseph. So that was really cool,
Yeah.
just because that's like one of my cosplays that I do. So
And that's Brandon really likes Joseph as a character from JoJo, so
yeah, exactly. So
part
like
2 and part 3.
He
hasn't gotten to part 4 yet.
Yeah, exactly. I relate best to Joseph as far as that goes. Just kind of like, the sort of like dad/grandpa character that's usually like the voice of reason, but is usually kind of aloof himself as well.
Yeah.
And then with the lady that kept trying to sell me stuff, like what'd she even voice? Like
she was
someone in Pokemon, and
yeah, she does kind of like older women voices, and then she was a character in Ghost in the Shell as well, but only in the second movie, and I can't remember what the character is. It's like that old lady, like doll looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Ghost.
So there was a little bit of an issue with that, and like the reason I say I take issue with it, so no one was really going up to her, which I felt bad about like immediately, because this is like the type of thing that like in general.
Well, okay, but first we should mention, AnimeNext pays for the voice actors to be there.
Yeah, they pay for their hotel, their flight, their food, and for them to be there.
Yeah, so then what AnimeNext does is they give all attendees, like one free signature each, but it's only on a personal item. So if you wanted, some of them will have like headshots or like a picture of like the characters they voice and stuff like that. So if you want that, you have to pay extra for it. And then also some of them you had to pay for like, if you wanted like a selfie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the backstory.
So they're already being paid. And, if you wanted something extra, that's when you cough up your own money for it.
Yeah, so essentially we were in line to meet Joseph's voice actor, and he was the longest line, obviously, because he's like, I wouldn't say probably like the most relevant out of all. No, he was probably like the most like currently relevant. They were all, good voice, artists and everything.
Yeah.
But he just happened to be in something that is insanely popular right now.
Two things that are insanely popular.
So,
yeah.
So we're in line for him, and then the one of the volunteers comes up to us. Amy was her name, by the way. I talked to her a little bit. She was a very wholesome person. So she said to us, "Hey, would you be able to go over? If you guys want, you could go over, and we'll keep your spot in line and everything." So we go over there, and then Eve's getting her autographs done. Meanwhile, I'm talking to
you left me hanging there.
I did leave you hanging. I apologize, but that was like, so probably the best time, because like Amy also looked like she was having a little like kind of I wouldn't say a bad time, but she was just like kind of like sitting there because like she was in charge of her line specifically. So I was talking to her and asking her about volunteering and stuff, because that is one of the things that's on my bucket list, is being a volunteer for a convention. So at some point in the conversation, Eve says to me, she's like, "Oh, hey, do you want to get something signed?" And I, of course, jump over there and I'm like, "Oh, what's going on? Signed? No, I don't have anything to get signed. It's fine." And then Eve gives me the book and says, "Get this signed." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I could do this."
Yeah, because it's free.
Yeah, it was free and everything, but I'm not the type of person that likes to get something free from someone if I don't know who they are and I'm not planning on buying something. So that was kind of the big thing with it and everything. And I was like,
she offered me the same stuff too, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
So
yeah, because it's like I don't want to buy an extra picture. I'm not there to buy an extra picture.
I have trouble. All right, so if this is probably going to put me at an advantage if anyone ever tries to get me to do anything for them, but I have trouble turning people down for stuff like that, especially because she seemed like she really wanted to sell a couple things, and I could only guess that not a lot of people bought stuff from her. And she did her whole spiel. She's like, "Oh yeah, you could get a print signed." I was like, "Oh, how much was it?" And she's like, $30. And I'm like, I haven't even spent $30 in like the dealer's room. It's like, and I was like, well, let me check my bank account and stuff like that. And then like, thankfully someone else came up, started talking to her. And then I just like pulled a young Joseph and ran off to the other
He-
line and stuff, and then just avoided eye contact the whole time. But like,
Yeah, it's like we felt bad, but like it's the end of the day, literally the end of the con. You don't want to throw us a couple of bones and say like, oh well, it's normally $30, but how about 15 because it's the end of the day.
if she would have said 15, I would have been okay with getting something signed for 15 because
Yes.
it's like. To put this into perspective, I've paid $15 for autographs from people that I know and respected very well. For instance, Brian O'Halloran from the Clerks and other, Kevin Smith movies. I got his autograph because it was $15, and I know him from a lot of things. So
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I gauge that. But anyway, that was like, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit uncomfortable in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way.
All right.
Sometimes that's how it runs.
Yeah, okay, so, you gotta just deal with that stuff sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I would say it's more awkward because you feel bad and stuff like that, and because there's no escape.
Yeah, exactly. And more than anything, like, if I hadn't gotten a free signature from her, which I wasn't even, I would like to really, really point out, I wasn't going to make her use her hand to write anything extra that day. But if I had not done that, then it would have been an easier situation. But hey, you live and learn. Sometimes you got to deal with stuff like that.
All right. Well, so after that, that's when we kind of did our more actually shopping and stuff like that. So,
So the Modern Horizons packs. Yeah. I bought, of course, when you go to a con, you got to get some Ramune stuff, which is kind of funny because the prices were all over the place in the dealer's room. The people we bought them from, they were $2 a piece. So
yeah, which is what we kind of expected to be because that's how much it is at Five Below.
Yeah, whereas everyone else was like, oh, $4 a piece or buy,
$8.
2 for $7. And it's like, geez.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah. Yari.
Yeah.
So then we went to in the Artist Alley, and whenever we go to Artist Alley, I always look for very specific things because I already have enough fan art, posters and stuff like that, so I don't really need anything else. I'm only there to look for stuff for my Ida bags. So all I want is Evangelion stuff, specifically Asuka, or JoJo stuff, specifically Kira from Part 4.
And if it's keychains, I'll usually go with, Rem or Ram from RE0.
Yeah.
And,
sometimes
if
you pick up buttons, too.
I see, Kingdom Hearts stuff, too, every now and then.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just, random stuff, if it's, the funny thing is the more out of left field it is, the more likely I am to buy it, usually.
Yeah. So I was luckily able to find 2 things for Evangelion. No Kira stuff. But, I got, this really nice acrylic charm, though. And then these little mini keychains that I also got one for Brandon. And let's see, what else?
Yeah, I gotta say, those artists that make those acrylic things, those things are off the hook, how good the quality is of those.
Yeah, they are really nice. It's literally you're getting one that's, official.
Yeah,
just
we'll
in their
post
style.
pictures of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think, we really didn't buy too much stuff. Oh, I did get a $10 wooden sword that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a really nice one. It uses, a nice high-quality varnish. Definitely.
It's got a good weight to it, too.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Eve are going to beat each other up probably this weekend. Because I have my polycarbonate one.
Yeah, from last year's AnimeNext. That's usually what we do is, we'll get snacks and then a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the weebs we are.
Yeah, next time I'm gonna get a fedora.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'll get the body pillow.
100%. Yeah, that'd be a good cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's kind of it. When it comes to getting statues, I'll really only get something if I know that it's a lot harder to find, so not anything too recent. Or if it's a prize statue that is under $15. Because, a lot of the times these people are under the impression that 99% of the con-goers don't know what this stuff's worth.
Which a lot of times they don't.
Yeah, and they don't take the time to look it up online. Mostly because there's not very good service in there.
The people that go to the panel that we had, they knew.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, we definitely had a good time. It was kind of hectic though, just because we, were trying to get everything together for the panels, and we were kind of worried about, making sure that everything went over well, and it did. So I think next year, if we do those same panels, we'll be totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we're always making new panels. Like, I'm going to be creating a panel about, like, psychological theories as displayed in anime. So that's something that has been kind of a passion project that I've been thinking about for a little bit. So, yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Besides that, I think we have one more part of AnimeNext, and that's just, some people that we met and everything. So, Yeah, so these guys, and I'm gonna link their YouTube channel on here just because they're, they seem to be pretty cool. They sat in on our video game panel, and they talked to us afterwards, and they're interested in doing some collaborations and stuff. So within the next couple months, we're gonna go hang out with them and see if the synergy's there. But yeah, they're called, and I apologize if I mess this name up because I'm going to link it and I'm going to correct myself in an annotation, but I believe it's called ARC Media, so that's an acronym. I'm not sure what the acronym's for, but it's A.R.K. And so it looks like the YouTube channel's been running for about 2 years now, and they have a good variety of content. Some of the stuff is just like, basically con coverage. They do some interviews. They do some top 10 videos. They do video game reviews. They do gameplay. And also, it was 4 dudes in total that we talked to. The first guy was actually on Saturday that gave us his card because he stood, or it was on Friday because he was in our Japan panel and he gave us the card. But the 3 guys afterwards, one guy was, a, classic gaming, specialist basically. One guy was into Twitch streaming and the other guy was, definitely like kind of like their manager slash I'm gonna actually say fighting games was his thing because on Sunday he was talking about how he beat his friends pretty badly.
Oh, in the Dragon Ball Z game, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Now I remember.
Yeah, so
Brandon was more talking to them, and I was talking to other people that were like talking to us about classic gaming after our panel.
Yeah,
so
it was.
We were kind of being pulled in all directions right after that one.
Yeah, so that was definitely really cool. So, yeah, sorry guys at ARC if I messed up your roles at all, but I'm sure once we hang out with you guys, you could yell at me about it then. But besides that, that's all I'll say for now, because only the future will tell.
Yeah.
And yeah, so right before we... right before we wrap this up and everything, just to give a little bit of a preview, we have Too Many Games, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Mm-hmm. Right after my birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to figure out what to get Eve for her birthday, but she doesn't know what she wants.
People should leave comments as suggestions for what to get me for my birthday.
There you go. So yeah, Eve's birthday is, June 20th, so... leave some comments on there.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what kind of comments. I will read them.
Yeah,
Mostly because we barely get any comments, so I'm going to see them no matter what.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get a bunch of comments that are like, oh, you know what she could use? A nice Russian single. Like Russian singles in your area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but...
maybe.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing some coverage at that event. So I actually want to do the thing where we kind of like walk around with one of our phones on a stabilizer and just like go.
We have a GoPro. We don't even have to use our phone. We have something that's got better quality.
But I haven't used the stabilizer in a really long time. I don't even
know
where it is
let's
right
make
now.
sure that, okay, so for one, you're going to have to find it.
Yes.
For 2, you're going to need to delete a lot of stuff off of your SD card on your phone.
Well, I don't have an SD card on my phone.
Okay, well, put an SD card in your phone.
Yes, I will have to do that.
Yeah, you use my 128.
Yeah. I have my 128.
Okay, well, whatever you want to do, Brandon. If you're going to want to record from your phone, make sure it's actually ready to record this time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jeez.
So, no, I want to do that too. We've done that a little bit in the past. But usually when it comes to like editing those videos, they're, they were kind of, like, mediocre, so we didn't really want to, like, put that out there. I mean, some people, like, they'll just upload content to upload content, but, we like to curate a little bit on our stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we've recorded stuff for, like, Zenkai Con. I think we even did stuff for Geek Fest.
NecoCon, we actually put something good out for that. Well, that was actually mostly me, because that was before.
Yeah,
that was...
You did, like, a review of that, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, it's not like we haven't done that stuff before. But I think now that, me and you were actually living together, it's a little bit easier to go over content, because a lot of times Brandon will record something and I'll record something and we'll want to put all that stuff together. And yeah, we can upload it on the Google Drive, but then it's like, okay, well, now we have to message each other talking about, like, what do we want to keep and all that stuff. So it should be a little bit easier now.
Yeah, because now that we actually have a place and we have a studio and stuff like that, like, please understand, before, it was hard just to, really edit anything, because my PC was in my parents' spare room when I was still living with them. So this room was, like, jam-packed with, like, Christmas stuff, basically. So that was my big issue, was that I just couldn't do anything. So, I mean, also, if you guys looked at the channel, if you guys are subscribers from back then, you'll also notice that videos came out, like, maybe once a month. Maybe. There were, like, 2-month breaks.
Yeah.
We took a 6-month hiatus at one point. And
and then we also were dealing with, like, no room to record in. You're trying to put up a green screen behind us where we only have, like, 1 foot of space.
Yeah.
The camera's fuzzy, all that stuff. There was, a lot of issues.
Yeah, the light was terrible. The light was awful in that room.
Bad lighting, all that stuff. I mean, a lot of people will be like, well, that shouldn't necessarily stop you if your content's good. But it doesn't help when you feel like your content isn't up to snuff because of those issues.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the entire time, like, you do all this work, and then you get that perfect take, and then you just look at it, and you're like, oh my god, like, yeah, we're talking right and everything, but this just looks like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we are right now, and that's why we're trying to do these podcasts and everything, because, like, I mean, I will say, like, these podcasts do take 2 to 3 hours, depending on the length of the actual content, but videos, like, back in the day would take, like, 4 to 5 hours to put together, and that was just a lot to do. And, of course, we are going to be doing more videos and stuff. It's just that, like, to keep you guys engaged and updated, because there's a lot of things that we did that we just never mentioned because we didn't have a fast way to do it.
Yeah.
So by doing this, I feel like we're, doing a little bit better. But anyway, that was a long tangent. So so with too many games, just to do this quick, because we're over an hour at this point.
Yeah, I see that.
So potential pickups, I'm going to be looking for PlayStation stuff. I would like to find a good priced copy of Einhander. It's probably not going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so...
People know what that's worth.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's some people that'll, like, sell, like, retro toys in a bin and it's, like, a $3 bin, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's where I got my, VR Troopers, like, kind of, like... What would you even call that? It's not.
It's like a vinyl. It's like a vinyl figure.
Yeah, but it's like one of the like 16-inch ones.
Yeah, well, that's like a classic vinyl figure. Also, at it wasn't at like that particular Too Many Games, but it was at like the charity event that they do in December,
which is awesome.
There was like tons of great deals there, but we also got your soundtracks for Fully Cooley there.
Yes.
They were like super duper cheap. They're super duper out of print, so they're worth a lot.
Yeah, and they're just awesome display pieces too.
Yeah, it's got really good art on it. So yeah, so I'll definitely be looking for GameCube stuff as per usual, but I'll also probably be looking for like 3DO stuff. Maybe even some like TurboGrafx stuff to get. Just add it to the collection if anyone's got cheap N-Gage or, like R-Zone stuff. Like, literally any random things I'm collecting.
Yeah, because that's the stuff you're going to find cheap, because no one is looking for that stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the funny thing is I didn't even know Eve was going to be starting collecting with the N-Gage, so that's news to me.
Brandon, I told you, I'm trying to get everything at this point.
Yeah,
now.
I know you're trying to get everything. It's getting expensive.
I haven't bought anything like that. I'm just saying that I want to beat that guy's record. I already said this. I wanted to beat that 30,000 game record. First we get all the GameCube stuff, and then we go from there. So, you can exhale all you want. We just need space for it, that's all.
Yeah, that is true, because I don't know how to break this to you, but this room's not big enough for 30,000 games.
Yeah, I got like 1,000 DVDs I could just get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I'm kind of surprised you even brought that up, because when I brought it up, you were pretty protective over it.
Oh, it's not like I'm getting rid of them. I'm just saying that space holds a lot of...
Yeah, okay. Well, that's things. Like, that's far in the future.
Oh, yeah. That's not anytime soon. That's literally like a lifetime kind of goal when it comes to gaming stuff. Yeah, because, you know, also throughout our collecting, we definitely need to be, like, playing more stuff. We haven't really gotten the chance to stream too many things, mostly because, like, when it comes to retro stuff, if it's not a mini console or something with HDMI, it's kind of hard to record decent quality because sometimes that Elgato, like, cuts out because you have to upscale from VGA to HDMI and then attach that to your computer. So there's some issues.
Yeah, exactly. That. I mean, we're getting better at it, though. I will say, like, in general, we've found good ways to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Plus, like, you know, we're just, like, figuring out, like, little hacks little every now and then to do it. But, yeah, no, that's definitely in the future. And, yeah, no, if we ever do reach that goal, I mean, once we bite the dust, our kids are going to have one heck of a collection. We don't have kids right now, but...
Yeah,
our spawn.
No, I was going to say our, like, cats, dogs, and reptiles.
Yeah, exactly. And
Cat Scratch.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that show?
I do, yes.
Yeah, because... They got left all the money and stuff.
Yeah. Now, I remember it 100% now.
Yes.
I knew it had to do with 3 cats, but... And then someone's trying to steal their money, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, besides that, this one's, like, a little bit of a long shot. And not that it's not going to happen, but it's, like...
Oh, right.
Yep. Yeah. So just since this is kind of the convention episode and everything like that, just kind of introducing things. The people that we bought the magic cards and the cheap Ramune from actually run this event called Camp Anime, and it's in Woodstock Valley in Connecticut. It's like the Connecticut side of Woodstock Valley, so it's like connected to the New York side, sort of. I don't know geography, but they're called the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just in Connecticut, so...
Yeah, so anyway, this is... It's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically an anime convention with also a weekend sleepaway camp type of thing.
Yeah.
So that seems like it's going to be really cool. We want to do some panels for it. Once we find out more, we're going to update about it and update about our plans. But this is really cool for me because I never went to camp as a kid because camp didn't have video games. Huh. So, yeah, I was, and also, like, another thing, I think I probably had anxiety about it as a kid, too, because, I mean, you know, I was kind of attached to my house and room and all the things that made me happy.
Man, I watched tons of horror movies about camp, and I was still...
Yeah, that's because you probably secretly wanted that to happen.
Yeah, I'd be, like, the killer.
Oh, man. Red flag.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, me at 7th grade, okay.
Do I need to bring up the Slender Man girl? Nah. It happens. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna, like, probably do something special for the Camp Anime thing, especially when we find out more details and everything.
Yeah, because it definitely seems like a really cool event. It's, definitely, it seems like the organizers have been doing... like camping stuff for a really long time.
Like they're super old-fashioned.
It is literally set up like the old school, you know, like weekend camps, day camps, you know, stuff that you would literally see in horror movies or movies from the 70s and 80s about camp.
Yeah, or just like, you know, camp movies that aren't horror movies.
That's what I said. 70s and 80s camp movies.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, no, so it seems like a lot of fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to it mostly too because of the just like interacting with like new people outdoors is such a cooler thing because the fact that like this isn't quite as big as other conventions and stuff, and there's definitely going to be like a lot less people, so I think it will be really cool to kind of like, you know, just like connect with people, hang out with them for the
definitely
weekend.
Seems like some more stuff to do though, because not only with the panels, it's like you literally also have all those outdoor events. So you got like rock climbing, canoeing, archery, they have a BB gun range, and then there's also like kind of like a mess hall kind of thing. So it definitely seems like really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, check it out. Just look up Camp Anime on Google. And,
I put like Camp Anime and put like Connecticut.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just link to it, honestly, and then check it out. Maybe we'll see some of you guys over there because, you know, I mean, hey, if anyone likes our YouTube channel and does some stuff on their own, maybe we could do like a crossover video for the camp.
Yeah, sure.
That might be cool, but yeah, wow, we covered a lot, and that's not even everything on the list, so that's why we're going to have to do, another podcast that will come out.
Another one,
yeah.
Yeah.
Another podcast that will come out in a similar rapid succession.
Hopefully, because we've got a lot of editing to do.
Should we tell them what it's about, what we're going to be covering in the podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're going to be covering a lot of E3 stuff. So it's, obviously everyone's doing that, but we're not as fast as other people.
Yeah, but a lot of, like, bonkers, crazy, unexpected stuff has come out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd have to say, you know, honestly, I saw people on Facebook saying, oh, has anyone else been a bit disappointed by E3 this year? It's like, have you been doing speed for the past week or something, and your adrenaline's just off?
Well, okay, but to be fair, E3 does not include Nintendo or Sony. They had their own special thing because they're special little people, apparently.
I was gonna say, why the heck did they do that? Because they've been...
I have no idea. It happens at the same time. They literally do it, like, right down the road at some other theater. It's like, what the heck is even the point of that?
I don't know. All I know is that, like, what I'm most excited for is GameStop's used N64 that they unveiled this year.
Oh, yeah, that Atomic Green? That's a classic.
I'm linking to the article.
It's not even new, it's used. It was someone traded it in.
That's what I said. They have a used copy of it. With the, you know, it's even got a GoldenEye sticker stuck to the reset button.
It was like a copy of Majora's Mask, I think. That was...
No. Like
there's a sticker on the...
In the article, it said there's a GoldenEye sticker stuck to the reset button, so...
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, you guys will like it. I'm gonna link to this because, like, I could just sit there and read the articles on the hard times all day.
Brandon loves that website.
Yeah, I really do. I've even written a couple articles like it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, those are just for me until Dolphin Quest has a website, and then I could, you know, post stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
under parody, so people know that it's fake.
Oh, no, I'm not marking it as parody.
No, you gotta do that, though, because some people don't know the difference, and then if it's something weird, it's gonna be, like, a whole debacle.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's... I guess so, but, like, for instance, the one article that I wrote was the, you know, like a wife grounding her husband from his Nintendo Switch. So like that, it's just stuff like that. But anyway, this is way longer than we expected it to be. We're almost at an hour 15 right now.
Well, we had so much to talk about.
We did, yeah. And we still have more to talk about, which is nice. So,
yeah, so I would say that this one will probably come out probably by the weekend.
You'll be hearing this by Friday.
So then that'll give us time to like go over all the stuff from E3 because, you know, new stuff could be coming out. You know, in this day and age, companies don't have to wait for, you know, summer conferences to unveil games. They literally can unveil them whenever they want.
Yeah, it's just like kind of a thing. It's like the way I look at it is that E3 is usually companies promising things or promising to fix things.
Yes.
Fallout 76, for instance.
Yes.
But if they do everything they said they're going to do, the game will probably improve a lot.
Especially since they said that those updates are supposed to be free. So we'll see if that You know, if it works out.
Canvas bag for you.
Hey, those canvas bags are supposed to be shipping soon. And they said when I signed up for that stuff, between 4 to 6 months. And it's only been 4 months, so they've been pretty quick on it.
Watch, they're going to send you those canvas bags in, like, the same, like, fashion that those new, like, build-your-own Pit-Boy things come, where it's going to come with, like, a needle and thread.
Yeah, build your own bag.
Yeah.
Ay.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, hey, that Doom guy helmet looks pretty great, so
it's pretty cool.
It's already completely sold out of PS4 and Xbox, and only the PC versions left. And I don't want to get that because that doesn't have trophies, so yeah.
Yeah, well, either way, what can you do? But anyway, guys, thank you for listening thus far.
And if you guys are, you know, whether you're old fans or new fans of us, thank you for listening and, you know, helping our channel grow. If you guys could, you know, like, leave some comments, all that stuff. We like to hear what you guys have to think.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we had some people subscribe from AnimeNext, so just, you know, it's much appreciated. We're glad that you guys liked our panels. We're glad we got to meet you in person, and we hope to meet more people in person. So,
yeah,
you know, if you like our content, go ahead, share it with some people. Maybe they'll like it too. And besides that, just, you know, as I said, or as Eve said, interact with us, you know, come hang out, and yeah. Oh, also, one more announcement. We are, last thing before I do the sign-off, and all I'm going to say, we're working on the Discord currently. We have it created, and yeah, we're going to add some sections to it. We'll talk about that more later. Besides that, Eve, do you have anything else?
I don't think so, Brandon.
Okay, cool. So, anyway, this is Brandon and Eve from Dolphin Quest, reminding you to stay cool.
And don't flip out.
See you next time.